Hey YouTube, how you doing? Just a quick video today concerning a video that was put out by the Prepared Mind. Really good video discussion, which he usually does about every other day or whatever. But this one definitely got some good points, talking about suppression by Google or YouTube or the various sites on prep-relating topics and stuff like that, and about where is there censorship and everything else, and also talking about lists and stuff about who's their priority targets, I guess you'd say, which Jason Brumsfeld did a really good video VR to that, which I will put both in the link in the description box below for you to go check out and listen to, because they're really good. But one thing about the Prepared Mind brought up, talking about censorship, and he doesn't think it's censorship, he thinks it's more harassment and stuff like that, and to frustrate the movement or people just trying to share knowledge and stuff. And to a certain degree I think he's right, but I also think it is a form of censorship, in particular on YouTube, because if they manipulate the view count and the thumbs up, that limits your outreach, that limits the audience that it goes to. So it does in a way prevent other people from seeing it, or that less likely that they'll stumble upon it, which is why and I think that's very critical, and that is the ultimate goal, I think, is to prevent, I know it's the overused analogy of the Matrix, but they prevent people from waking up, from trying to find a way out of the system. They don't want Morpheus to find what's the guy's name, Neo. They don't want that to happen, if it hasn't already. I don't know. But they want to limit the information that gets out and prevent the further erosion of support for the machine and support for the corporatocracy and everything else. I think so. That's part of the purpose of the censorship, and the talking in particular on YouTube. He's talking about view counts and stuff like that, and I think that's the purpose behind it. So it is a form of censorship, I think, and I think that's the ultimate reason, is because of to limit the spread of the message, because they can't have tax slaves escaping the system, or trying to, or finding ways to mitigate their effects from the system. I know it's hard for any of us to escape as much as we'd like to, and still remain alive, I guess. And Jason did an excellent video talking about target lists, and I think he's spot on. There's just because you're not a prepper, etc., don't think you're not on some list if you have valuable skills that they will need, because just like every group that's needed to force people to work to survive, they will get the skilled craftsmen, the skilled internet savvy, the skilled engineers and stuff, and force them to work outside their will when they have to, if it comes to that. And that'll be, like Jason says, at the day before the dollar crashes, which is an interesting thought, that they would go to that group and get them ahead of time without pre-knowledge or pre-warning. Much like the Germans. When the Germans went after the Jews, they went after the artists, the writers, the teachers, the educators, scientists, because those are the ones, like Jason talks about, that could back up a revolution or back up a resistance economically and philosophically. So they're not just going after the preppers, which going back to what Prepared Mind said, I think they're already starting to do a little bit of that with these individual targeted attacks, like this individual in Florida, which is obvious that the intel and the story that got out was blown way out of proportion of what reality was. But they went into to isolate an individual and take them out, and that also prevents people from kind of venturing into that realm of what prepping is. Same thing with the militias, mitigating and trying to minimize what the militia is. Like at Bundy Ranch, they're trying to minimalize that, if you will, or minimalize, not the right word, but trying to negate the importance of it or the significance of it, to keep people from going and studying that further, and potentially joining a militia and stuff like that, or starting their own, hopefully. So I think those are the purposes behind that. A really good video there. What other thoughts did I have? But I think they're all about suppression, and they want to isolate and mitigate now the individuals, and that's going on at a small pace. And really, it's been going on for 20, 30 years. You know, they isolated the militias in the 90s and degraded them quite a bit, and now they've come back up to strength, or a certain amount of strength. They're going to want to come after them again. And I think the militias have learned a lot as far as where they need to be legally and morally to fight back against that. And hopefully everybody's learned their lesson on that, and kind of decentralization and local is the way to go. But Prepared Mind made a distinction too between the militant types and the prepper types. And I'll go back to my normal drum line, you know, my normal party line. You got to be a part of a group, and that should be your local militia. If you're a prepper on your own, you're not going to get anywhere. Like Jason talks about, they're going to isolate and they're just going to execute you or whatever. You got to be part of a group for self-defense. And the more, you know, you want to get like-minded, but if you're in a local community, it's not hard to get people to buy into defending a local community, regardless of what ideology, how far they, you know, whacked out they might be in their ideology. And then that'll just make more people that way. But I think you can't separate militia, you know, prepper. We got to get away from that, because militias are prepping and preppers should be in a militia. Like Zorks are Quarks and Morks are Zorks and all that other stuff. It needs to be one and the same. It needs to be. I know it's not there, but you know, self-defense, that's all the militia's about, is common self-defense, defense of the community. And preppers should be all about that. So that's my thoughts. Go check out those 2 videos. Really well done. Good job, Jason. I just now got to check out some of your past videos. I didn't realize you had a back history there with your other videos after talking with you on the Dragon, but I'll definitely go check some more of them out. Go check out Jason Brumsfeld if you're not subscribed to him. He's got a lot of fieldcraft expertise as a guide that he can give out to you, and other military experience as well. So go check that out, and we will talk to you later, YouTube. Live free.